SmashFactor.
Terrific driver, going for it. Oh my goodness, how about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome back, everybody, to the SmashFactor AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am 2019, brought to you by AmpCaddy. Go to ampcaddy.com, type in the promo code SMASH, and get $20 off your next AmpCaddy. If you had typed it in the last maybe week or two and it didn't work for you, please email them and they will refund you some money. We had a little mix-up, but please go back and do that. Also, check out our affiliates page. Go to our affiliates page at GupsCorner.com. There you will find two of our amazing affiliates. Fanshare Sports. Get the pro advantage of fansharesports.com. Type in the promo code GUP, G-U-P, and get 20% off your next subscription. Also, go to fantasynational.com/GUP and use the tools that we use at Fantasy National. We all use it. It's all great stuff. I'm your host, Michael Ruvilo. You can catch me on Twitter at Michael Ruvilo. I'm here with my other two fellas, Gup and Bucks, and you can catch them on Twitter at I am the Gup, at BPSnow11. Also, catch us on Twitter and on Instagram at GupsCorner, and on Facebook at facebook.com/GupsCorner. And as always, we really, really would like you to hit the like button on YouTube or go to iTunes and please rate and review us. We will have a big monster prize pack that we're going to give away at the Masters, at the week of the Masters. We'll have a big prize pack that we're going to give away. It is massive. We have tons of equipment. I got a ton of stuff from Torrey Pines. I got this hat. I've got some ball markers. We're going to get some stuff throughout the whole year that every tournament we go to. Plus, we'll probably throw in an Amp Caddy in there. Everybody loves the Amp Caddy, so we'll definitely do that as well. Today, we're going to talk about the Phoenix, or we're going to talk about the review of the Phoenix Open, then get into the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. But first, Bucks, how you doing, bud?
Doing awesome, man. Doing really well. Had a good week last week. I am pumped for this week. Normally, this is one of the more fun events of the year. Little weather this week, but overall, I'm excited, man. How are
awesome. You? Gup, how you doing, bud?
Doing well. A little tired over the weekend, but it's a good weekend, long weekend, a lot of grinding. Ready to finish some of the things in the back end and get the updated new premium service going out tonight. So a lot of work still to do, but almost there and excited for everybody to see it.
Yeah, we will get to that in a little bit. First, let's get straight into it then. Last week's good, bad, and ugly of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Bucks, you all had good weeks. So Bucks, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, I had a good week. I changed up my theory last week. Instead of doing 3 to 5 lineups, so that decided to dump 80 into the week in the 33 and the $5. Turned out really solid. Going into the back nine Sunday, I was up like 50K, and then old Benny On decided to go home early, and so ended up doubling up on the week. Had a little more than 7K in winnings, which is awesome. But yeah, it was a successful week. I would say the bad, there wasn't much ugly, so I'll just say the bad was 2 players that I was high on, Glover and then Finau. Finau, I had 40% owned or something like that out of those 80 lineups. And so if he makes the cut, I mean, and everybody can say it, but if he makes the cut, it could have been just a ridiculous weekend. So.
Yeah, how about you, Gup?
Yeah,
you had a great weekend. So.
Yeah, it was a fantasy-wise, it was okay. I'll go back on Showdown. Just couldn't seem to put together the right squad. close on all of them. Just seemed to be one guy off every day. My main was okay. I lost just a little bit. Very weird week in that probably like most people, but not really. So I faded all the chalk, and the right chalk had 0 Finau, 0 Glover, hit everybody up top that I played, and I think I went like 0 for 12 on the guys that I decided to go underneath 7,500. And I just had all kinds of 5 or 6 lineups that were perfect other than the one guy until Sunday. Sunday kind of changed around a little bit. Going into Sunday, though, I had many 5 or 6 that are up there in the top 20, 30 in certain contests. So it was frustrating when you hit like that up top and you make the right pivots and then you just select horribly down low. Betting wise, obviously was a record week for me. Took DJ. Actually, I took Sergio, DJ, JT, and Ricky, and basically round robin them to do the doubles. And so 4 bets on parlay in those 4. And the DJ Fowler bet hit at 142 to 1. 3-way split. Swept the board Thursday on 3 balls plus a parlay, and so all in, it was the most profit in golf I've had in one single week. Everything was profitable: betting, matchups, first round leader. So exciting week there. Obviously, yesterday was very intense, and at times I was pacing around the living room, and kids wondering what's wrong with Daddy. But I just couldn't believe the shot by Ricky, and I'm sure we'll get into it, or I can get into it now. But it wasn't the shot. I mean, we were all chatting with each other, and literally 30 seconds before he had a 5-stroke lead, and as soon as he hit it, I said it, and we had a couple guys in our private chat. We all kind of said it before he even dropped, was that he'll go back to the same spot, and for him to do that. And I'm not in the situation or a pro golfer, but it seemed with his options, it would have been better to go that spot. Obviously, hindsight make it look real obvious, but to be having that shot over the bunker, short siding yourself against that flag on an angle lie just seemed like, but maybe he just felt comfortable there. But it was brutal to watch. And then I thought it was over, not because he was out of it, because I think he still had a 1-stroke lead leaving the green, but because of the conditions and knowing, I almost bet Grace in the morning strictly because of that, because he's kind of that kind of grinder player. And once that happened, I felt Grace was going to finish strong in the weather. And Ricky, obviously had a lot going on in his head, and it was going to be a tough deal. But he got through it. And when Grace blew it left into the water on 17, obviously finally felt a little better. But it was a good finish, a good hit. And the biggest thing was so many people told it that it was a huge success for the community, and that's what made it even bigger. Being that we're much bigger than we were a year ago, that a lot of people also had success on it.
Yeah, I completely was following it as well with you, because that was awesome. You crushed it, and that was really cool. I was a little scared for Ricky and the Ricky followers because of the Ricky struggles on. But good for me was I had an okay DraftKings week. I did win a 444 ticket for Mexico, so that was kind of cool. The bad would be the cut. I mean, the only bad chalk that I had was Glover. I didn't have any Finau. I wrote up in my article, my weekly article, that Damon was my fade of the week. So that one was really good. The list and Berger finishes were really, really frustrating to me. Berger 3-putted from 25 feet to miss the cut, and List 3-putted from 10 feet on 16 to not have a chance at the cut. And so those two really hurt me pretty good. Still had a good week. I had a couple 6s, but also the Ruvies did pretty good again this week. I had Molinax, even though that was another bad that I had him at top 10 to 14 to 1, and he puts it in the water on 18, sitting in 9th place. So that was a little brutal. And then, but he still had a good week as far as DraftKings go, and I was overweight on him and Danny Lee as well. Albertson was the one that didn't come through, but I'll review that this week's article. This week we had the listener league. I actually placed in the listener league, which was, I think, one of my first times ever. And the winner was M Zubs 11. He had 559 points. So good week there. Yeah, he had a good week there. Well, yeah, our listener league is super competitive. The guy that got second in our listener league also got he won the $50 3 entry with that same lineup.
Yeah.
So our listener league very competitive, and it was a good week for the listener league. So let's get into this week's course preview. There are 3 courses, so Bucks, take it away. It's all you.
Yeah, man. I'll switch it around a little bit. So just because it makes sense, from a weather perspective this week, it's dicey, put it to you that way. It rained all day today. If you follow some of the guys that were out there checking out the course, RCB had a ridiculous Twitter video of him on 18, I think, and the green is underwater. But weather right now looks fine for Thursday. Going to be super soft conditions because of all the rain that they have had. Friday looks like rain is going to move in probably around noon, maybe 1 o'clock, something like that. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good rain. They're supposed to get around an inch or so of rain. Wind's going to kick up a little bit. And so the reason I mentioned that is we are playing 3 courses this week. You got Pebble Beach, you got Spyglass, and Monterey. And so Spyglass is typically the hardest of the 3 courses. If you are in a soaking rain and no thunderstorms on Friday, you probably don't want to be playing Spyglass Hill. The most difficult golf course in the most difficult conditions doesn't make much sense. So that's something you want to keep an eye on for sure. And as soon as the pairings come out, we'll have an article about it because it does make a difference this week. But 3 courses this week: Pebble Beach, Spyglass, Monterey. Pebble Beach is 6,816 yards, par 72. Spyglass, 6,958 yards, par 72. And then you have Monterey Peninsula Country Club, 6,953 yards, par 71. The theme here is that all of these golf courses are extremely short. Fairways, for the most part, are pretty generous, although we have heard from I think Kenny Kim was talking to him, one of the local caddies out there at Pebble, said they've narrowed the fairways in preparation for the U.S. Open already, which is something new that they did not do the last go-around. But overall, the fairways are typically around 30, 35 yards wide, which is fairly generous. The thing you have to keep in mind, though, with as short as this course is a lesson driver course. That's fine. But the greens here on 2 of the courses are very small. So you have Monterey, which is 7,000 square feet per green, which is big. It's about the same size as Phoenix last week, or TPC Scottsdale. And that's just above tour average. And then you have Spyglass, which is 5,000 square feet, which is a lot smaller than tour average. They're really small. And then you get to Pebble Beach, 3,500 square feet per green, smallest on tour. I mean, it is tiny. And so it's a less than driver golf course. Great. You're going to see a lot of fairways hit, but you have to have really, really solid iron play. If you go to the breakdown, which I released this morning, you have a full course preview on Pebble, Monterey, and Spyglass. You can check out pictures and see what the courses are like. So please do so. But yeah, 3 courses this week again. So make sure you check that out and then keep an eye on the weather.
Awesome. That's great stuff. Thank you. Yeah, we will definitely be updating that later in the week, obviously, with the weather and those changes. Let's get straight into this week's DraftKings segment with the locks, flocks, and flops. Gup, why don't you lead us off with what key stats you're looking at for this week?
Yeah, it's always an interesting week when you have the 3 course set up. I think this is the last one of the year. I hope so. Overall, the stats are going to be important, but just as much is going to be what Bucks mentioned on the rotation and weather and the draw. Me personally, I'm going to go one way or another on DraftKings, which I'll either do like a mass entry, which I kind of did last week. I didn't have as much success as Bucks did, but in an event where you either have to just throw a dart or 2 and hope you have the nuts, and so I may, do something like that, or throw 100 in so that you can cover many different angles, especially in this kind of event. You can have a strategic advantage there. with that, just looking at the 3 courses and kind of combining a few things on what I think will be important. Overall, I'm going, bread and butter, strokes gain approach and ball striking are virtually locks every week. Along with the secret sauce, that's now kind of a staple. Green and regs gained is a big one for me. Scrambling and then proximity, all things Bucks probably mentioned. I'm putting weight on stats. I definitely will start upticking the recent form this time of year, and as we continue on, just like last week. Course history, I upticked just a little bit. I did it for the statistical model, but then I also will look at how many times guys have played and such, just because this is a unique atmosphere with the Pro-Am setup, and these amateurs aren't, some of them aren't the greatest. And so it's a very testy round for some of the guys. But if this is their 3rd, 4th, 5th time, I'm going to assume that they're okay with it. We saw a slew of withdrawals today that kind of maybe lean towards some of that, especially with the weather.
Massive.
Pebble being, I think, may wind up playing the hardest, depending on some of the setup they've changed already to get rid of the U.S. Open. Smaller fairways, thicker rough, which I was surprised to hear just because of this being a Pro-Am. That was kind of my thoughts last week, was I didn't know if they would change it early because they don't want the amateurs to take 7 hours to play. But if that's the case, rotation is going to be just as key. So kind of the preference of the night is all this is based on statistical model, and I'm sure you guys have done the same. It can 100% change once the drawings and course rotation comes out. And so I would take it lightly. I'm going to have who I have and I like my pool. As soon as the rotations come out, I will build a model similar like I did last year that got a lot of hype on the Twitter world. But unfortunately or fortunately, everyone will look at it. The premium members that will start tonight will have access tomorrow. So what I did last year is kind of break down the percentages between the rain and the rotation and the courses of trying to nail down the best grouping of guys. It doesn't mean that's all you go with, but I'll do if you've seen heat maps in some of the other places in the industry, it's similar to that, to try to narrow down, okay, based upon starting time and course, here's the best group, here's the second best group, so on and so forth. So that's going to be the bigger key to me as it sits here on Monday night. Obviously, I'll love all the guys based on my statistical model, and that won't change. But the bigger portion of me is going to be the other stuff.
Bucks, do you have anything to add to that that's different?
No. He covered it, man.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. Nothing to add. So let's get into this week's lock of the week. Over 10,000 on DraftKings. Gup, what are you looking at for your lock of the week?
Statistically, which is probably the case 90% of the time, anytime he's in the field. Yeah. He's an obvious choice. Ownership's going to play a little bit of factor. I honestly may not focus on ownership as much as many weeks, because I think a lot of guys and the hype in the industry are going to go off for their models and everything, and I don't know how much they're going to be able to factor in the draw and the rotation. And I'll probably get annoying tonight saying that, but it's hugely important this week. And so, first of all, you got to make your choice. Do you put more in the same as you normally do? And, that's up to any individual person if you're uncomfortable. But strategic-wise, you can still get an advantage on the field. And so, FanShare is the best for that. We do models, ownership models, and I do as well. And but they have so many more tools there with the tags and the buzz and stuff that can get you late down to the minute information. So having a membership there of whatever kind they have, several options is big on a week like this, because I think it's more than just total projections. With that, the guy I think I'll like, and especially with the type of weather, and I've just been riding him and I don't see any way to do it, is going to be Kuchar. He T62'd here last year. He missed the cut in 17. His form, though, coming in is third best in my model, and stats-wise, he's third best. Rolling stat-wise, he's 14th best. And if it's going to be a lower scoring or higher scoring, however you look at it, type event, I think it favors him. The way he ended yesterday didn't really help me gain confidence in this play, but he's third in my model overall, and I think he may go a little under-owned with some of the guys there. I think Fleetwood's going to get a lot of hype. I actually don't think Finau will take too big of a hit after the cut last week because I think most people will bounce back to him. So I'm going to go Kuchar as kind of my lock there, with the obvious that DJ is a play virtually every week if you can fit him in or like him.
Bucks, how about you, bud?
Yeah, I mean, my play would be DJ. I mean, it's not even really close. And I am going to go back to the MME, like mass entry type plan this week. So I'm going to have the majority of these guys at some percentage or another. But DJ will definitely be one of my highest. The one guy, and I'll mention him just because of ownership. And obviously, like I've said, this changes depending on draw, weather, that kind of thing. But I think after last week and him burning so many people, I think Finau sees really low ownership in this group. So, I mean, you have Day, who has ridiculous course history here. You have Fleetwood, which is just a tee to green monster. DJ, who's DJ. And then you got Kuchar, which has just been one of the hottest players on the planet. I think that leaves Finau as the odd man out there. And so if I can get Finau at under, I don't know, if I had to guess, 14%, 12% owned, something like that, I'm going to take that. So I like DJ, obviously, but Finau would be my next.
Yeah, I obviously like DJ too, coming off his win in Saudi Arabia. I'm wondering how hard he partied, which we know he can party after that. I don't think it matters to him that much, but I really like Finau as well for my backup. But I have Fleetwood slightly ahead of Finau in the rankings. So I'll take Fleetwood on that one, except for the obvious answer of DJ, obviously. But Fleetwood, maybe the weather, that's something we'll get into obviously later in the week. But I think I might play it as a project or a ownership thing. I might look who's less owned and play it off of that, because I think DJ will be obviously probably the highest owned. And then I'll play off of that, see who's lowest of those group and maybe go there. And it very well could be Kuchar, like Gup said. So, and that's not a bad play because that dude's one of the hottest players on the planet. So let's get into this week's flocks then. Gup, how about your flocks, your core?
Yeah, this kind of be the bread and butter this week. I think the mid range is fairly strong from high sevens to in this 9 range, and I think a lot of people will build from there. Although he has some pretty good guys up top, so it'll be interesting to kind of see where the masses go. I think the rotation will make a big difference. If you have if DJ gets the best draw, I think he's obviously or any of these top guys get the better draw over the other guy. Gives them a huge advantage. So I think your core, your middle 7,000 to 8,000 is really going to be where you have to build tight this week. I'm going to go back to Kokrak. I really, I've rode him the last few weeks. He's coming in 6th in my model on recent form, 3 straight top 20s. He's played this event the last 5 years. He's averaged over 3 strokes gained on the field over those 5 times. He's only missed the cut once. So it kind of tells me he loves this, not that he may love it, but he doesn't mind the, Pro-Am type deal. My next guy right underneath him is Russell Knox. 4 straight made cuts in a row. This is his 5th straight week playing. He top 10 last week at the Waste Management. He T15 here last year. He had a miscut in 16 and then a T27 in 17. So 3 cut, not too bad. He's number 2 on my long to short form and on stats, so it tells me he's improving. So I really like Knox. And then last is kind of a toss-up between 2 guys I think will favor in a weather condition type environment, but I think both are going to be chalky, so I may go off the least one. It's either Grace or RCB. Grace obviously showed what he can do in some nasty type weather yesterday. I just mentioned it earlier, so I like him. He's 8,900. RCB's 8,300, so maybe more people will go down, but I like RCB as well. He T26 here last year. He's, pops all over the place in my stat model. He hasn't played over here, in the last couple months, so you have to go over to Euro to see how he's doing. But I like both those guys as well as a 3A, 3B.
Box, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I think there's a lot of guys that I really like in this field. And I'm going to say him, even though I think he's going to be just insanely popular, but Sunjay M is going to be one of my cores this week. Insane ball striker, been super, super consistent, played a ton of golf in a row, but I think he wants to win, and I think it's going to happen eventually. Next guy on my list is Charlie Hoffman. Guy started playing really well last week. I think he's turning that corner, giving himself opportunities. So I really like Charlie Hoffman as well. And the last guy that I'm going to mention, I'm not going to go Dahmen. I think that's another chalk play this week. Everybody's going to talk about him. I do like him, but Nate Lashley is a guy that I really like this week as well. Played well in his last event. Oh, that's nice. Played well. If you guys can't see it, but Jay just got a nice kiss on camera.
I'm a little jealous.
Speaking of nice kisses, Nate Lashley is going to pay dividends this week. Super, super consistent. Crushes par fives. Great ball striker. Solid proximity. Doesn't get in a ton of trouble. And he's not the longest guy on tour. So on a lesson driver course, I fully expect his iron play to be at the forefront, and that's what you need this week.
Yeah, I have maybe some weird plays, but I think that Paul Casey actually could go really under-owned this week because he's just not getting the talk up, the new clubs. He pops really well in my model, so Paul Casey will be in there. I really like Patrick Reed just because he does not fit my model, but I'm not including him. But I could drop down a little bit. And Shane Lowry just coming off the win on the Euro Tour over there with a big group at 8,800. I like Shane Lowry a lot. And then my last was Lashley as well. I had Lashley 11th in my model, and maybe I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I doubt that, obviously, but I thought that I liked him. Obviously, I love Sung J M. I've loved him since I bet him every week. I think since he came up. I worry that he might be really, really popular this week, like you said. So I think I'll go to Lowry at that point, and then Lashley with a little sprinkle of maybe like a Michael Thompson in there. He's kind of popping, or Corey Connors.
Hey, it's called the flock, not 19 guys.
I know. Hey, you guys, it's hard when you guys took all my guys. I loved Knox. I loved all this, and I'm like getting down here. I'm like,
you can like them too. They may want to know why you like them.
All right. You got it. Yeah. I will stop.
You don't have to list 18 guys though to get your flock.
At least I didn't throw Spawn in there.
Shit, that's a given, dude.
There you go.
All right, then let's just go straight to it. Flops. I only give 2 guys, I promise this time. Gup, you're up first.
Yeah, I struggled with 2. I really think, kudos to DraftKings because we bash them enough. But I feel like the pricing for the most part looks fairly in line to projected value for me. So I think the flops, like on the playbook that Bucks will release Wednesday, will be more defined for me because I'll know a guy that I like to fade based on the weather and stuff. But from a statistical model, my number 1 right now is Hadwin. I don't like this setup for him at all. He's, still fairly priced high. I think overpriced this week for what his potential is. Just an easy fade. I don't know how owned he'll be at this point. Probably not too high, but just from what his salary is compared to what I think he could do in this, he's my number 1. If I had to go a second right now, I want to do some research on him, and it's Cameron Champ, but I want to see, just because this week, as Buck said, the ball striking iron, getting up and down is so important. That seems to be some of his weaknesses right now. But he may, and we won't have this data on him on the tour, but you get a lift, clean, and place type of deal, and he may love it. So he's kind of my second fade as of now.
Bucks, how about you?
I'll give 2 fades. The first guy is going to be Kevin Kisner. I'm not digging his game right now. I'm not digging statistically how he fits on this golf course. And you're talking about 6.5, 7 hour rounds and a guy that can't just go out there and crush beers all day. And so, I mean, he can, just not in this event. So I just think with all of that in play, I don't think he is going to perform well. So Kevin Kisner is the first one. And then the second one that I had down here is a guy that I don't think is going to be I would assume he's not going to be too popular, but I'll get your opinion on it. But Ted Potter at $7,400, I think is way overpriced. And I know it takes into account the win, but TPJ is a guy that I just can't get on. What are you guys' thoughts on TPJ?
Yeah, at that price, it's kind of hard, I would assume. But Gup, what do you think?
I mean, he seems to like it. I mean, I don't know that he's not on my model anywhere right now, but based on last year and the fact that he continued to play decent at times, I mean, he may like this type of course, but right now I don't have any of them.
Yeah. My first fade is going to be Pat Perez. He's been pretty bad
Sick
lately.
history.
What's that?
Sick course history.
He's a local guy. I worry about the weather with him, like him just literally giving up.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that just doesn't want to be there. And I love Pat Perez. Obviously, you know that. He's one of my favorites, but Pat Perez is a no-go for me. The next one, I'm debating it right now because I know that he's going to be popular. They're going to throw in the win narrative. And he's got a great course history as well. He's really bad on my model right now, but as of right now, Brandt Snedeker is a fade for me, which is interesting because I think I actually liked him at the beginning. I bet him at the U.S. Open already. I just don't think
about to get
he's there
burned
right now.
alive.
What's that?
I said you're about to get burned alive.
That's okay. It wouldn't be the first time. So
Not the last.
no, exactly. So Gup, why don't you give us your sleeper of the week? Below 7,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I don't have a lot that I like down here right now, but I'm going to go David Hearn. He's kind of, other than the last 2 years, he missed the cut, but not terribly. And then the 2 years before that, he topped 20. He's got good form coming in. His stat model looks good. At 6,500, he'll probably be my sleeper right now.
Bucks?
Yeah, I was looking at this. I was looking at a lot of guys down here. So I'll give two just because one's more of a gut play. But I think Julian Edelane is mispriced, number one. Typically a Euro guy, 3 straight cuts made, tons and tons of talent. So 6,100 for him is a steal, in my opinion. The other guy, pure gut play, min-priced, great course history. He has, I think, 2 made cuts out of his last 20 events or something, and that's Freddie Jakobsen. Just love that guy. So 6K, I'll probably have one lineup with him.
He was coming off a made cut last week, right?
Oh, yes. Came in dead last or something after the cut.
Yeah, I think he birdied 16 on Sunday at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sleeper is going to be Roberto Castro. He's from the Web. He was up here before, coming back from the Web. He's played good here. He has for a player of his stature, he's got a decent course history here. I think he's got a top 15 one time. So Roberto Castro at 6,900 for me. Gup, we're going to get into our head-to-head picks for the week. We had a request from someone to name this, so we got to get a good name for this segment, I guess, coming up. But
yeah, throw some names out.
Yeah, throw some names out for this segment. Let us know what you guys think this segment should be called. Right now we have it as head-to-head picks, so let's get straight into it. First one, Fleetwood or Kuchar? Gup?
Oof.
Kuchar.
So hard for me. I'm going to say Fleetwood just because of, Kuchar has been grinding and playing so well, seemingly in every tournament. I think that mental grind gets to him this week. He probably still top 20s, but I like Fleetwood's upside this week.
I will go Fleetwood as well on that one. Gup, alrighty. Next one is Reed or Spieth, a dynamic duo.
I'm gonna be on Spieth. He's actually number 4 in my model. He has a great history here. Saw enough at the Farmers that 94 is probably a high for him. I expect him to still have some low ownership and negativity in the industry. So, especially if he can draw a good side of the draw, I'll go Spieth.
I'm going Spieth as well.
I actually like both of these guys here this week because I think their whole course history is pretty good, both of them. And but I will go Reed just to be a little slightly different. But I do like both. Mickelson or Scott, Gup?
Scott. He there's so many in the 9K range. You can't play them all unless you do the MME. But he's there as well, 9,200. Looking at the Farmers.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll go Scott.
Bucks?
Yeah, I'm going Scott as well. I think Scott is a great play at that price on this golf course for sure.
Yep, I'm with you. In the weather too, he's a good British Open player in the past. Yeah, I'll go Scott as well. The next one is the Euro guys that play good in the weather. Grace or Lowry? Yep.
I'm gonna go Grace.
Bucks?
You know, Lowry hits a lot of greens, but I am going to go Grace just because of how well he is playing.
I will go Lowry. All right, the next one, which will be two popular guys, Sung JM or RCB? Gup?
If they're equal in ownership, I'll definitely go RCB. I'll fade M this week.
M, 1,000% M.
I agree with Gups. So on the equal in ownership, so I don't know if they will be. So I guess I'll go M just because I'm an M apologist. So.
M's got to be way higher owned than RCB. I mean, way higher.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking is RCB's price is so low, and I think that's what Gup's reasoning is as well, but he can speak for himself, obviously. But his pricing is so low for such an elite player over the history.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, the next one, I guess we know how I'm going this one. Pat Perez or JJ Spawn? Gup?
Yeah, Spawn ranks out way higher in my model this week, so I'll go with him.
Bucks?
I'm going to go Pat Perez.
All right. I think you did that just to spite me, but I'll go Spawn. All right. Next one is Gooch or Dahmen? Gup?
Obviously, Dahmen murdered a lot of people last week,
yes,
including myself. I told myself to fade that all week, and then I pulled the trigger Wednesday night. That was a regret. Gooch doesn't really go real well in my model. Maybe it's just the things I'm looking at. But with that, I'll go Dahmen. He's up in my model again. He obviously burned everybody, so I'm going to go with him at low ownership this week.
Same here. I'm going to go Dahmen, hoping he gets a little bit lower ownership because of the burnage factor from last week. And when you look at Dahmen, this course sets up perfectly for him. I mean, perfectly. Less than driver course, focus on the iron play.
A little bit. He'll be half of what he was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
He'll be half. There's too many people got burned by that one. And he's right back where he was, 7,200. So, I mean, unless the industry hypes him up, I think he'll have half.
I think he's a better fit here than he was last week. Last week it was just a pure value play. I mean, this week I think it's a better fit for him.
He's 17 in my model, so I'll happily go back to him, assuming that most people are going to be off of him. I don't know how he does in bad weather, though. He kind of seems finicky on some of that stuff, so I'll have to see how that goes, do some more research before Wednesday.
He is an Arizona guy, but he did play college golf at Washington, which we know that they don't have the best weather. So, definitely something to look into. I will go Dahmen as well. Chesson Hadley or Corey Connors? Gup?
I wish this wasn't rated PG or something, but Hadley, I can't stand any. I can't ever get him right.
You don't like this?
I hate it. I don't mind. I loved him. He just burns me every time. But I'm gonna go Connors. Not a lot of history on my stat model, but I would go at Connors out of those two.
Bucks?
Connors.
I like both actually this week, but I will go Connors as well. This was one of my favorite ones to put together this week. Roberto Castro or Brian Gay? Gup?
Both up there. Castro's a slight. He's top 21 in my model, so I'll go Castro. Out of those two, but I like Gay as well.
Bucks.
Oh man, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna go with Gay.
I like both of them again. That's why I put them out there, but I will go Castro. But I think Gay has a little bit more experience, and I think he's ready to go. So I'll go Castro, though. But I do like both. That'll do it for that segment this week. Now we're going to get straight into the betting segment of the week, where Dustin Johnson comes in at plus 600 on the week. Anything you like? Let's start off with you, Gup. Anything below 50? Because there's not a ton below 50, but anything you like below 50?
RCB's 45-1, so I don't mind that.
You could even get a 50 number on him at Bovada if you want.
Yeah. Grace at 35, with the weather's a potential play. And a guy I hadn't mentioned much, but he's really, really high in my models, Ches, but I don't know if I can go 26 on Ches. So that's probably it. And, without, and I'm not going to bet anything until I see the draws for sure on outrights. Normally I like to jump on them early, but just going off of that's it. Fleetwood at 20-1 seems like good value, with how he plays, but being that he hadn't played over here yet this year, and I can get Spieth at the same, I'd probably take Spieth before that, but I'll be leaning towards some long shots, as the historical track here is longer shots seem to have a good chance to win.
They do. Bucks, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that Spieth number as well. I think a couple guys, Adam Scott to me, I think is a solid play here, super high potential. And then Ruvy is another guy that I like for this course.
Yeah, Ruvy at 33 on Bovada looks a lot better than the 26 number you were showing. I think that's probably 5 dimes, right, Gup?
Correct.
So, yeah, shop around a little bit. Ruvy at 33 was the only one I like. But Grace is lower on this one as well. But Paul Casey at 33 will probably get my money this week just because why not? So I did say I like Shane Lowry, and he's 40. So I'm not betting all those, though. But I would like to see the draw as well. So,
yes,
Gup,
the draw is going to be big this week.
Yep. And Gup, this is a good question then, I guess. Do you think that there's a play after Thursday then? That maybe a guy that's playing an easier course on Friday and maybe has a better draw and maybe just had a day to come back or something? You think that's a possible play?
Well, on Bovada, it definitely is. They, when at Torrey, for the last 2 years, they over-adjusted the live numbers for the guys that hadn't played the easy course yet.
Right.
And since they were 8 strokes back, but they're playing the North the next day, you had some potential to get huge value there. So if they do that again, then yes, there could be some live value. It could be good play this week. Is only take a few long shots and then play it live as the weather plays out.
Cool, great. Now, who do you like below 80 to 50?
Both the guys that were in my core, Kokrak and Knox, both 60-1. And that's about it under 90 that I would mess with right now.
Bucks, how about you?
I don't want anybody.
All right.
I don't want anybody in this range.
That sounds good to me. I'll probably throw it on Sung J M at 50 just because I don't want to miss out on it, but that's just a waste of money. So, all right. How about above?
He's your new. Sanjay's your new M.
Yeah,
or
well,
Sanjay's your new Spawn. I mean,
yeah, I think Sungjae probably gets a win before Spawn though. So, yeah, so that's probably you're probably right. Gup, how about above 90 then? What are you looking at?
Strillman has a pretty good track record here, and he ranks out high in my model. He's 125. I need to locate the whereabouts of Glover's wife, but if she's kind of MIA, he's high on my model again at 100. Connors was a guy we mentioned earlier at 125. I don't mind. And Dahman, I don't mind going back there at 140. Just some sprinkles, but pre-tournament on those guys. Ryan Armour, who I probably won't ever get off of, even though now he's missed back-to-back cuts. But short course, which is kind of up his alley, and he's 150. So all those kind of guys would be right there in that kind of throw a bomb on.
Bucks, how about you? Anything you like up there that just catches your eye real quick?
I will say Dominic Bazzelli, Julian Etelaine. Those are some darts. Those two guys I like, just super low though.
I assume you like the Lashley 200 number?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's
200 to 1.
Yeah, $5. So I obviously Spawn at 125 to 1. That's a given. I mean, come on, you didn't expect. I shouldn't even have to say it at this point.
Do you just have a weekly bet with your bookie?
Yeah, he just knows it's coming every week. It's fine. Yeah,
auto bet.
Yeah, he's cool with it. He's like, yeah, you're an idiot. So every week. So I'm like, it's okay. How about Rory Sabatini? This seems like a course for Rory Sabatini, a shorter course at 250 to 1. That's not the worst value. He doesn't really rank high in my model, but 250 to 1 for a shorter course. A guy that plays well at the Heritage. I'm not calling this the Heritage.
He crushes par fives.
Yeah, it's not the worst play in the world. So, but besides that, obviously the ones Gup said as well. So, I've got nothing else on that front. I had
a couple, deep guys. I like Castro, the guy you mentioned earlier. Yep. Stallings is a guy that I've seen a couple different numbers, but call it 150. It played here really well. He's got a 7th and a T14, which is a little misleading because he's actually gained the 4th most strokes here over the last 2 years against the field. So I really like him this week at 7,100, and then also 1,500 or 150 to 1 on the betting side. A guy that's just kind of flaring at times. He T33 last week. A little old school flavor would be Hunter Mahan at 160. And then my sleeper, David Hearn at 225 would kind of be my kind of long shot bomb of the week right now.
Davis Love is coming off a top 10, by the way.
Yep.
At the Sony, and he's 250 to 1. That's not, I guess it's not the worst play, but yeah. Let's get into the one and done update now.
He's 250 on Bravada.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's 140 on 5 dimes. So that's great value at Bravada.
All right, so place that now. Now let's get into more good news for you, Gup. The one and done, where you've picked your second winner of the first 4 weeks. Is that correct? Your second winner?
That is correct. Yep.
So you are in 12th place, I believe, overall at $2.8 million. So yes, you are beating myself. I have 949,000, and Bucks is at 372. Bucks is a couple tournaments away from being right back in it, though.
I had Ricky in one of my other lineups.
You did, yep. Yeah, you did.
So suck it.
This is my worst lineup as well. It's but Gup is killing it. He's killing it.
I had Ricky, Kuchar, and Finau.
Yes, you did the Finau one. I had Hideki. Who else did I had Ricky in one of them, and then I had Webb, of course. So, but Gup is right up there near the leaderboard. I think the leader has picked 3 of the first 4.
Yeah, just insane.
And his other one was Siwoo Kim. So he could have, if he just would have picked Adam Hadwin, it would have been the perfect score so far.
So he won 15 grand last week or something.
Yeah, he had a great week. Yeah. So, but yeah, who do we like in this week, Up? Who are you taking this week?
Yeah, so I'm gonna make the rule because I can, because it's called GupsCorner. But we are gonna because of the weather, we will make a pick tonight, but all 3 of us will confirm it with each other for the chat Wednesday night. Because my main one and done, especially where I'm at, I'm not going to hold it to this one until I see the weather draw.
I think we can agree.
As of now, I'm going to kind of continue the streak of trying to pick guys on this main lineup that I think can go out there and win and may be a little under the radar where they're at. I'm going to go Spieth.
I do have Spieth in one of mine, but for this one, it's going to be DJ.
I don't dislike any of those. For this one, for right now, I'm going to use Fleetwood. So
Fleetwood.
Yeah, I figured why not. So, all right, and Gup, I know you've been hinting at it and chatting about it a little bit, but why don't you let everybody know about the premium service that's starting up tonight?
Yeah, I sent a text out or post out earlier around lunchtime, hopefully giving all the details. So if you missed it, go check it out. It also has the original post embedded in it. You can go check out. We should switch over and go live sometime between now and tomorrow morning at 6. I'm not going to commit to anything because I don't push those buttons necessarily, but I know JB and M are working hard on it, and I'll be with them most of the night getting some testing done. But we want it to be right instead of quick, and we didn't want to rush last night during the Super Bowl. So when it goes out, I will post, tweet, email all the subscribers as well with all the links. I know the whole team will as well. Once you get that and confirmed payment, JB will be getting me the email addresses, and we will fire you the Slack channel invites ASAP. Stay calm. You're not going to miss the world getting them out, but we expect a little bit of a rush at the beginning. So as soon as we get them, you'll start getting this Slack channel email invites from us. So looking forward to it. The only thing we changed really from anything that was said the last couple of weeks is we added a 2-year package, actually by kind of a lot of people asking about it, for $129. With that, you get 2 entries into the Blue Jack National package instead of 1. So that's your choice to do. Everything else has pretty much stayed the same.
Boom.
We have, between tonight and Sunday at Augusta, when the final putt goes in, is how long the early bird will last. After it goes in, we'll shut it off. We'll take a little hour break to gather our thoughts and everything. We'll have a recap show and a live drawing for the winner that night. You're going to have less than 2 weeks to get here. So we'll we're going to pay for all the flights via Fantasy National, but make sure your schedule's clear. If we draw someone that can't make it or doesn't want to play golf, we'll compensate them somehow for winning it and go down to the next guy until we find someone that wants to go play Blue Jack with us.
Yes.
So let's get into this week's listener questions real fast. I've got them ready to go. I'm just going to ask one of you guys at a time. I figure we'll have similar answers, so one of you guys could answer it best. Gup, this one's for you. Because of the weather, should we favor the Euros?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to favor a draw. Really, I don't care if they're, purple, orange, yellow, Euro, America. I don't really care. Those guys that are mutters, grinders definitely will have a peak, but I'm not going to take a guy in a worse draw just because he's Euro. Is that a better way of probably saying it? If I have Euros that are grind, if Grace is in the best draw, then yeah, I'm going to be well overweight on him. But if he's in the worst draw just because he is a grinder doesn't mean I'll have any more of him.
Great. Yep, that answers it. So, Bucks, this one will be you. Are you worried about guys, the fatigue of guys, or is it too early in the season to be worried about that?
Generally, I'd say it's too early. But, yes, absolutely. This tournament is a grind. It's a short golf course, but it's going to be wet. It's going to be sloppy. You're going to be out there for 6.5 hours playing with these guys. And if you got, like I mentioned earlier, if you got a guy like Kuchar, who's been in contention every single week and grinding his ass off, going to a golf course where he's got to grind for another 6.5 hours, 4 days straight, that is a lot of golf and a lot to take mentally. And so, yes, I think it's a concern for some, not everybody, though. Like his son, JM, who's been playing every single week, he's 20 years old. Whatever, he's fine. A guy like Kuchar may be a little different.
Yeah, I think age comes into that factor. You're right. Yep. I got ripped a little bit for my 24 pack of core players. My bad. Some people want
the listeners are on my side.
Oh, they should be. They should be. Yeah. The quick thoughts on Sergio's meltdown. Gup.
I don't have any. That stuff's so negative and with some of the things that I've seen in personal life and dealt with and talked to, I'm not going to – should he do it? He's a professional. Absolutely not. I'll leave it there, but you never know what's going on in someone's mind, and so I don't like getting into that kind of stuff on especially on these platforms.
Sounds like a good answer to me. I think we answered this one, Lebiota or Hearn. Gup, you were on Hearn. you had him as a possible sleeper. So
Yep.
Let's see. Did we have any other ones? We covered the one and done. Our picks could change in the one and done, but I think that's about what we got right now.
Yeah, and we'll post them out once the draws come out. I'll get with you too, and I'll post out our official 3 tomorrow
Sure.
afternoon. I do want to give a shout out to the listener league, and a shout out to Cut Sweat. Nathan does a good job over there, and so, or Nelson, sorry. If you don't know, you can go to @CutSweat on Twitter. He has a good, customized package for all Cut Sweat stuff. Does a great job in the industry of giving all of us shout outs, and he kind of started a few weeks ago doing a listener league, Cut Sweat, and so he got 4 or 5 of the top listener leagues out there. And monitors them against each other. And we've done fairly well, middle of the pack. I think 1 week, one from the bottom. But this week, the listener league not only was the number 1, but doubled up second almost. So with almost 7%, 6 of 6. So, great job to our listener league. Did a good job representing GupsCorner, and keep that up. That obviously is a cool thing to see when you're looking at it, and give Cut Sweats a follow. He's got some great stuff going over there as well.
And I want to give a shout out to a gentleman last week that bought the Amp Caddy without the code, but then he's going to go back in and get that changed. But his name is Nate Smith. He bought the Amp Caddy to use a raffle item at his memorial for his brother's life. His brother was a Marine and lost his life with the ultimate sacrifice, and so I want to give Nate a shout out, and I want to say that whatever I win this week on any kind of winnings, I will be donating to Nate's Brothers Foundation. I'll donate 30% of my winnings this week to Nate's Brothers Foundation, like you guys did this last week with Jared Lyle.
Yeah.
But Nate's Brothers Foundation will get whatever I got this week, which is a really cool story. He didn't have to say it. He's just like, yeah, I just got this for my brother, and I asked him about it, and so it was really cool. I got to look it up. I'll send out a link for his brother's.
Do it.
His brother's his foundation, which is really cool, I think. So,
awesome.
That's all I got. Gup, do you want to finish this off with a Gup's Corner segment of the week, or did we already cover that?
Yeah, I mean, the support's been amazing. We continue to say it. Anytime you go to a paywall, there's always concerns of doing the right thing, and everybody that knows our message and what we've done believes in it. We have 99 positive to every 1 negative so far since the announcement. So, we're going to try to step our game up even more. We hope it goes, better than we expect. In the next 6 months, we'll continue. And I think a lot of people believe in that. They see that we back it up with continuing the, growth of the brand, the website, the one and done this year, the format. Probably the only last kind of special announcement that pertains to that is that as an executive group, we made the decision, as everybody knows, we've since start, we've charged a hosting fee for contest, for any contest, not only internal, as a way to generate revenue for us, just like Office Football Pools or anybody else that hosts. With us going premium, the one thing we decided to do was waive that moving forward for anybody that wants to do contests with us. We have the premium now. That's how we're going to generate revenue. So we'll be, paying out 100% of our any pots, anything like that will go. They don't have to pay us anything to host with us. So all of JB's contests will be paid out, 100%, starting with the NASCAR one now. And then for those that don't know, he does a terrific all majors pool as well that we expect a lot of hype from, that'll start with the Masters. So pay attention for that. But that's just a way to give back to you guys for supporting us. Hoping for huge, numbers in the premium service that allows us to sacrifice that. I think the Slack chat's going to be really, really popular and allow us to give some quicker insight and up-to-date stuff that jumping on a website, creating a post and posting it and hope everybody sees it and retweets it. It gets cumbersome when you're trying to do live bets and second half bets, but definitely looking forward to there's a sneak preview from Bucks. Looking forward to the interaction on there, and we'll continue to grow other parts of the website, and the contest site it's still got so much improvements we're going to do there as well. So looking forward to it, and look forward to tonight. You'll get something from us as soon as it goes live. And that's really it. Look, we'll see you. We're still going to host the Wednesday night chat We'll talk to JB. We may do a video chat this week as well instead. We kind of had the community one last week for all the free for one more time, but pay attention. Let's get this paywall, the premium service going tonight, and then we'll kind of talk about the video chat Wednesday night, which should be exciting.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Great stuff. Everybody, good luck this week, and we hope you guys all win the money as well.
SmashFactor.